Hi, everybody, and welcome to Dem Wise Girls. I'm your girl, Jada.
And I'm Nelly.
I'm Lala, and welcome.
We hope you guys had an amazing weekend. We hope your weekend is off to a great start. How are you ladies doing? How did your week go? How's everything going? What's going on?
Well, my week has been a little hectic. As come to find out, someone in my building, my workplace, has had COVID. I don't know if it
Ooh.
was a student or teacher. A
Oh,
couple
wow.
of coworkers had to quarantine because they were in close contact with this person or persons. So that was a little stressful coming into work and not knowing who got it.
So you had to go
um,
into work all week.
all week, all week.
Oh,
They did have
wow.
they did have to close one of the classrooms, but we was told it's closed. So, later on, as coworkers talk among themselves, we figured out why it was closed. So it was a little stressful. Family issues, not issues, but family health wise, it's been a little crazy. But other than that, it's been a good week. How about you, La?
It's been a good week for me. I have to say, on Monday, it was like a really, really difficult day for me. My mood was like really off, just tired and drained, but it's actually picked up for the better. I have to say that I'm back to my health regimen. We'll see how long this stays. I don't actually go too far off. I start the binge, binging on junk and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't go too far. I always try and be active, but I'm actually like being really conscientious of it within the last couple days. So we'll see. I do feel better mentally when I'm more making healthy decisions and being critical in terms of making sure critical of myself and make sure that I exercise at least every day for 30 minutes a day. Um, Unfortunately, we lost in our immediate family, we lost a dog family member. We had to
Aw.
put down hubby's favorite pit bull. So he's hurting right now. Um, I I feel upset about it, but I wasn't attached to the dog to the extent that he was. But I do feel bad, and I do feel like we're missing a family member.
You
And
do.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I went to put food down for her today after lunch because the baby had leftovers, and I was like, "What are
And
you
you
doing?
forget.
She's not
Mm-hmm.
here to eat the
Yeah.
leftovers." Because
Mm-hmm.
you just put them in the dog plate, and then when she come get them, she come get them like there's a treat there for her.
Right.
And I went to do that and I was like, I can't. I wasn't going to initially move everything because I want to be respectful
Right.
and let him and transition her things. So I did clean up her food area, but I left her bed and everything the same. I didn't want to, like that's respectful to me. Like I'll let
Yeah,
her
yeah,
take it.
let it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And the baby, she's just not understanding. I told her, I tried to explain death to her. I told her that she's in the ground and everything, and, about the resurrection and the paradise, but she doesn't understand. She keeps saying, "Where is she?" And I'm like, "I told
Oh,
you she's dead." And she's like, "Well, when is she coming back?" And I'm like, "I told you when she's
Mm,
going to come back." She's not
oh,
getting the
it's
concept,
not.
which,
Yeah.
she doesn't
yeah.
understand.
And
Mm-hmm.
I guess she's pretty smart, but I guess because in my mind, I'm so used to her getting concepts so easily that
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why she
But
doesn't
that's a
understand.
hard concept for a child. They're
Understand.
not
Yeah,
going to
Yeah.
get that right away.
Not for a
it's a very
while.
hard concept. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I which she just keeps asking out the blue out like randomly. But I
Oh.
think that's because she keeps looking at her bed and everything and it's
Mm-hmm.
probably like, well, where is she? So yeah, it's been difficult. This happened yesterday. So it's been
Mm.
difficult, pretty difficult last 2 days. But
Mm.
otherwise the week prior was good. Like I said, started off rough, but it turned out good. Only thing is I didn't get my stimulus check, girls.
You
Oh
didn't get it
no.
yet?
I doubt we're gonna get it. Our status on our IRS system still says not available. And it could be either A, they don't have enough information, or B, that we're not eligible. But then I read online and the IRS website that when you see not available, that means you have to claim it as a tax credit when you file your 2020 taxes, which is a joke.
But I heard people were having issues with getting it. Some people were having issues. I got to look back. I'll send you the article that some people were having issues with getting their checks. They don't know what happened, but people who did qualify weren't getting them. And I just saw the article. I felt like it might have been yesterday or the day before. I don't remember, but I'm going to look into that and I'll get back.
Because we got
sound like the IRS.
One. Yes, please, Miss IRS, find my money. And you know, I now that I don't have any dogs or pets or anything, I'm like, oh, I want to do this with the house, and I want to do this with the house. I don't have to worry about this, and I don't have to worry about the dog getting here, and I don't have to worry about her hair or her scratching anything or. And the thing is that she was a very, very good dog. Like, she is really going to be missed. But unfortunately, you know, due to old age, your body starts to break down, and you can't hold your waist anymore, or you get sick, or you want to just lounge on the couch, and can't do that, boo. Can't do that. So exactly. I think for right now, it's just going to be the three of us. And actually, there's 3 and I guess a centimeter of us, because we have a little fish, Mr. Blue.
Aww.
And, yeah.
That's so cute.
We'll just have the fish for now. I did want to get a little dog for her, a little pocket dog.
That's
but
cute. I want one too.
I was going to ask if you was going to get another little dog just for her. Yeah, because she's so used to a dog, you know.
That is so cute.
I want her to, but I also don't want the responsibility. I have her as a responsibility. So I do want her to be a little bit older where she can provide some more assistance with it. Like, she can feed it now. Like, she thinks she could do anything. But I want her to be able to really feed it without my guidance of, hey, don't get food all over the floor, or, hey, go walk the dog real quick in the backyard. Because we have a fenced-in backyard. So it's relatively safe. I mean, you know, nowadays anything can happen.
Exactly.
But, she could take the leash and just go to the bottom of the step, and I could watch, you know. But right now she can't do that. So I'm thinking maybe in the next 2-3 years,
when she gets a little older.
Yeah, when she gets the whole concept of taking care of a dog.
Yes. And not
just
like
playing with it.
Exactly. Well, my week went pretty well. Monday, as you guys know, I had to go to the doctor. So I lost 5 pounds. So that was awesome. That was good. But then Tuesday, I get an email stating that we're going to be returning to work in the fall semester.
Wow.
So we don't know how that's going to look, but I just was like, man, that just killed my whole vibe.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tuesday we got the email. We'll be gradually returning. I don't know how that looks, but it's
that's
gonna be
full.
coming.
So you figure September can change.
Yeah, it could. We don't know. When they said that, based on how things are around that time, we'll see what happens. But they're going to start planning, because you know, in college you start planning early because students start registering between February and March. So you have to start planning now for the next semester. So that kind of killed my vibe just a little bit. But my vibe was lifted yesterday when I went to Target. And I found these Mickey Mouse ice cream bars that I thought were so cute. They're little sandwich bars that are super adorable. So I said, since I can't get to Disney World right now, let me live through these bars. So that then had me start thinking about certain Disney treats that we enjoyed growing up. And I love the Dole Whip. So I saw a recipe on YouTube that I want to try to create the Dole Whip. So, you know, I am all things Disney. You know, I love me some Disney and I want to go back, but we can't travel right now because of COVID. So unfortunately, I'll be making my Dole Whip at home.
I think you should do a Disney trip. That would be, I haven't been to Disney in who knows how long.
It's been about maybe 5 or 4 years. 4 years ago, I think I went, or 3 years ago, I think I might have went. No, I think it might have been 4. 4
I
years
was like
ago
a
I went.
teenager when I went. I still have the picture of me in front of the thing. I was in a, those fleece Rockaway suits. You remember those Rockaway suits? Well, I had
Yep.
the fake one. I had a baby blue one, and I was in there with my micro braids. I was cute, but that was that was a very,
We
very
should
long
plan a
time.
family trip there because
We
little
are
mama would
overdue.
love it, especially now
Yes.
she's older to really enjoy it. We should
Yes.
plan a family trip to
Girl,
go
don't
down there. That
start
would be
me. I
nice.
will get my Mickey Mouse nails. I will get me my Mickey Mouse hat.
Yes.
Yep, all
You
things
know,
Mickey. We
I'm
had
definitely
shirts last
down for
time
that.
we went, which was nice.
Mhm.
I
The
got
whole
mommy a
weekend.
shirt. I had a shirt. We was all decked out. I think we should plan that.
That would be very cool. I
That
mean,
would
me and
be
Matthew
very
have been
cool.
saying as soon as we could get her there, we want to take her there. She
Yeah.
went when she was 9 months. Don't ask. It was just foolishness, but we did, and it wasn't just us. We went as on his side of family, but I really wanted to go because I wanted to take her. But first time parent, you don't really think about what people are telling you.
Yeah,
It's foolishness to take a
now we could
9-month-old.
take her and she could have so much fun and we could have
Yes.
fun through her.
Yes.
So I'm
Yes.
all for us planning a trip to Disney World.
Yes.
I
I'm
say
so
let's
with
start
that.
doing this.
Okay.
I'm
We'll do
for
that.
it.
Yeah.
And if the viewers, have any recommendations on
Please
must
share
a
with us.
4-year-old, please let us know.
Share
We're
with
aiming for
us.
4,
We wanna
age
know.
4. Age 4, she turns 4 in May. So if we're out of lockdown, come May forward, we will be visiting Disney within the next.
We got to take a Cinderella's castle to eat. She
That's
will have a
right.
kick out of it. I have a kick out of it, and I'm not 4.
Get my little princess crown, girl.
That's right.
Let's
Bring
do
her over.
it. I'm all for this.
Remember
I'm
we had
excited.
the cone
had the
crown
crowns.
with the veil,
And
the
the
veil
thing.
thing that held in the back.
Oh, to be a
It's
kid again.
dope.
I still want to do that. But this makes me think of, like, this whole week, I just been thinking about where I started and where I'm at now, from college to now working. Like, I have those moments where I just sit down and appreciate certain things, because sometimes you get so caught up in the everyday hustle and bustle that you don't sit down and really are thankful for what you have now. Sometimes people are working so hard to get somewhere. You never sit down and appreciate how your process started, how it started versus how it's going. And sometimes I have to have those moments just to get me back, because sometimes I get very despondent and I feel like, man, I'm not where I should be, or this or that. But sometimes I sit down and I say, you know what, G? Maybe you are where you're supposed to be. So I just wanted to know, how did your stories in your life start? How did you get to where you're working at right now from where you started at some time ago? I mean, we know what each other has done, school and things like that, but what really moved you to get to where you're at currently right now in your life?
Wow, you want to go?
Okay, well, just put me on the spot. Fine.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna have to go.
So it's funny that you bring this up, because I just happened to make a statement, a blanket statement to someone who was very influential in my early, early career. And I told them that there was so much more that I wanted to do that I have yet to do. And I felt like I wasn't where I needed to be. But in truth, as they reminded me, I'll eventually get there if I continue working and doing what I need to do. It's when we become stagnant that we then are not accomplishing what we put ourselves to accomplish. So as long as you're continuously moving and progressing, and you may not be progressing like you think you should be, but you are to a certain extent, because you may be reading up on those things. You may be, keeping yourself mentally sharp by reading or how do I say, practicing that particular thing you've been saying that you want to accomplish. So for me, I initially, we all have dreams. So I initially wanted to be a newscaster, okay? Which makes sense because, we like
you.
You
Yeah,
would have done good, sis. You
would. I said, no, Lauren, you can't do that.
So That's not realistic, as my father stated to me when I had told him of my aspirations, which I now agree they were not real. It was not realistic that I'd be a newscaster. So I settled on being a nurse. So I initially went entry level, or I should say, to start a gen eds off, in the hopes of being transferring into the nursing program. Nursing, as you know, runs through majority of my side of the family, not our shared side, but my side of the family. And so it's always a practical thing, which it still is practical because we do have sickness, and folks need to be cared for. You know, doctors need assistance in a sense. They don't actually do the caring; they just prescribe the care, and we carry out the care. Um, so I started off with the hopes of being transferred into the program. And I fell in love with psychology in the interim. And you know, that was right up my alley because a sis likes to talk. I'd be thinking I know everything about everything. You know what? My daughter has taught me that I don't. So
Okay,
she knows
babe.
everything. So that's how I started in psychology. That's what I graduated in, or have my bachelor's in. And from there, I went into a form of I&O Psych, and that's where I am presently at within HR. So I love my job. I love interacting with the employees. Yes, it is very different from counseling. I had wanted to do counseling psychology when I initially decided upon sticking with psychology. Um, and I realized that in truth, counseling psychology, although it's lovely and you get to aid people in a sense, you can't fix them. And in the same sense, you know that I'm a very emotional person. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I take your hurt, my hurt, her hurt, and I mix it all together, and I, how do I say, internalize it. And I realized that I just couldn't do that. And even more so now that I have a child, anything that really is an injustice or a crime against the child really upsets me. So truthfully, I'm happy that I didn't go that route. I do wish sometimes that I did, only because, you know, we all have bad days at work. And some days, a lot of times, we feel unappreciated and we feel that our talents can be used elsewhere. Um, but that's how I got, what's that saying? We started from the bottom, now we're here. So now we're trying to improve ourselves even more and bring this show to our viewers. So this is my main focus right now. Yes, I work secularly, but my true passion is, if I could leave that secular job and work at this secularly, I would certainly do that.
And make sure y'all like and subscribe and share.
Yeah. So
Nelly, tell us about you.
So, like you said, we all have dreams and aspirations. I didn't have that. I didn't have, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that. I do know when I was young, I always said, I want to be a teacher. But my first job was at a daycare center that I used to go to that was literally 5 minutes away from me. So as soon as I got my working papers, I was like, can I work here? I was like, oh yeah, sure. We've seen you grow up. We know you. Da 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 da. I said, okay. I worked there for a little bit, and then after that, I went to retail. I worked at Sears. I worked at I don't know if you girls remember a store called Dots.
Yes. Oh, I remember Dots.
Yeah. Dots was like the back in day rainbow.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was an early rainbow. Probably a little bit better than rainbow until rainbow got hot. I worked there for about 3 years. And then after that, I graduated high school, didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I went to medical training school, did that for about a year. Was it a year? About a year probably. And then, if you don't get an internship or hired as, a medical assistant, you pretty much don't have a job. So my mom works in the school system. My grandmother, as you guys know, my grandmother worked in the school system. My mom was like, you know what? You're gonna work in the school system. I said, what? Well, all right, fine. Got hired as a teacher assistant back in, I want to say 2011 or 2010, around there. I have been doing this for about, I believe this is almost 7 years.
Oh, wow.
So I am
7 years you've been doing that?
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Either 6 or 7 or 5.
But still, it's good.
It's been a long.
I didn't realize that long.
It's been a long time. I do want to go back to school and become something bigger and better than this. Make more money, of course. To secure the bag.
That's right.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing. But I've always wanted to work with kids. Even when I met her daughter the first time, your father was like, she don't go to nobody, she don't do this, she don't do that. So watch me. The girl was in love with me. We hugged, we kissed, we peeked, we ha. And even you were like, what did you do to my daughter?
That's right.
She don't go to nobody. She's calling you, Nelly. I want to do that. I was like, I already knew this was going to happen.
Yep.
So, kids were always a part of me. I've always wanted to work with kids. I always say I'm a kid at heart. So I always feel like little kids and middle kids, we always connect with for whatever reason. Yeah, that's what I do. I absolutely do love what I do because you guys know I love kids. So yeah, that's about it. What about you, Jade?
Okay, so I had a full circle moment. And if I go off track, please tell me to come back because I'm going to tell you a full circle moment.
Go right ahead.
So initially, when I went into college, I wanted to be a high school English teacher because I had an amazing high school English teacher who I had pretty much my whole time in high school. Shout out to Mrs. Miller. If she ever sees this, I want her to know she made an impact on my life. From Mrs. Madison
Miller?
High School.
Comment below.
You was it. I wanted to be another Mrs. Miller. Okay, she was amazing.
Miller.
So then I started working at Kingsborough, like way after I finished, like my last semester in college at City College. So I was talking to students and we were vibing and having conversation. And in that moment, I said, I don't want to be an English teacher anymore. I would like to be like a college counselor. I think that would fit me great. I think it suits my personality. So after doing that, I worked in different jobs in higher education. I worked for nonprofit, back to CUNY, the whole 9. So where I'm currently at now, I went for my second job interview because when I was at Kingsborough, I had an amazing advisor who just was really good. And I was like, she's good. I like her. So I go for my second job interview where I currently work now. And so it was her and dean of students. She was there. And I kept looking at the woman who was the head of the program. I said, this lady looks super familiar. So we did the interview. It was over. And she said, you look very familiar. I said, yeah, you do too. So we're going down the line, trying to figure it out. I said, did you go to James Madison High School? She said, yeah, but I went such and such a year. I said, no, we weren't together there. Then I said, did you go to Kingsborough? She said, I worked there. I said, oh, you were my advisor at Kingsborough. This is where I know you. And she said, yes, I remember you. You were the girl who was always in my office. And I said, yes. And I was like, wow. I said, you know what? In that moment, I knew I wanted to do this type of work, but I wasn't exactly sure because I'm the type of person, this is what I'm going to do. I follow through. No veering off for me. But in my life experiences, I actually veered off to go into counseling. So I said, you know what? It was thinking about you is why I want to do this type of work. Mind you, the interview was over. I don't think that had any bearings on the interview. But
Yes.
I just wanted her to know that how she was with me really left an impression on me. And it allowed for me to be like, I want to be that type of advisor. I want students to remember me. And I tell my students that now all the time. I said, you're going to remember this face. Wherever you go, you're going to remember Miss Jade. You're going to remember Jade, Miss Powell, whatever. You're going to remember this face. And so that pretty much led me into being where I'm at now, working in higher ed. I've been in higher ed for almost 12 years at this point, and I've met some amazing students along the way. Hi to my former babies. I know y'all be watching me like, okay, Miss Jade is still the same, crazy, but we love her because she was the dopest advisor ever. Yes, I still am. But I appreciate what I do now, because to see a lot of my students doing what they're doing, I am super proud of all of them, like super proud. Some have went on to become nurses, teachers, doctors, like doing really, really dope things. And I'm just like in awe because I remember their struggle. I remember how long it took for them to get to where they're going. I was a part of their story. And you remember the people who were a part of your story. And that's something that sticks with you, because if it wasn't for them, they helped me in ways they probably never thought they did. They've shaped me in ways they never thought they did. It's a give and take exchange when you're in that type of field. And Nellie, I'm sure you could agree with me, and La, I'm sure you could agree with me too. It's give and take. It's not something that you just get from, but you learn too.
Still call my advisor. I still have a relationship with her as a mother figure. And I mean, we all have mothers, thankfully.
Right.
But I still consider her to be my mother. Right. In terms of, it was respectful. And when I was her student, advisee.
Right.
But now I call her just for life experiences, things that I'm going through. How is the family? How's this? How's that? Because like you said, they shape you and you don't ever forget that. Never, ever.
You ride with it forever. And I remember that, and I keep that in mind. And it's funny because I happened to see a student on the train one day. And I was like, I had this job back when I was like 19, 20. And this girl said, Miss Jade, hi. I was like, okay, where do I know her from? And then I was thinking, I said, oh, when I worked at such and such, she was like, Miss Jade, I always loved you. I always loved your personality. And I just was like, wow, you never realize how you shape somebody, but then again, how they shape you. And I'm going to say this too. My former supervisor, who still works where I'm at, she's in a higher role. She's amazing. She's the one who encouraged me to go back to school and get my master's. And I believe this, and that's why, Nellie, I know the Board of Ed be hooking you up. Whatever your job gives you, where you could better yourself and make yourself better, take it. Because there might be a day where they don't give it anymore. And I'm a strong believer. They're giving you trainings, take those trainings. They're giving you this, take it. Because there might be a day where they'll say, okay, we no longer can give those type of things out to people. So while you can, and if you have the time to do those things, do them. You know what I'm saying? Focus on them and keep going with it. So that way you know. So I know the Board of Ed be hooking folk up, because I got students that work for the Board of Ed. So take it, go with it, roll with it, get what you could get from it. That way you're not coming out with any sort of debt, and you're able to elevate yourself in that particular role. So I say, go ahead and do it, girl. You want to go back. I did my whole master's program from home, child. I did it online, and it was a lot of work. Oh my goodness, I'm not gonna lie. I was crying many of nights, but it could be done.
Yeah, it could be done. I agree. I totally agree. The DOE does give you a lot. They will, yeah. So, it's just a matter of wanting to go back. Do I want to do schoolwork again? Do I want to do paperwork again? But you look at it at the end, do you see the benefits from it? You just gotta suck it up and do it.
It's just another added part of your day. And that's what someone else who I work with told me. She said, it's just another part of your day, like your everyday thing. What do you do every day? You come to work, you do what you have to do. You do that every day, right? So what's adding another 2-3 hours to your day doing schoolwork?
So
another added part of your day. And that's how I looked at it. I mean, I was doing schoolwork at work, but you know what? The kids still got service, so it didn't matter.
Exactly. As long as you get your job
That's
done.
what it
there's
was.
moments when you need a mental break and you need to step away from your normal
That's
work.
it.
Understandable.
So it's just another added part of your day. And at the end, you see the benefits. And when you get that degree, you're going to be like, wow, all I went through to get here. When you see them grades popping in, you're going to be like, what? I did all of this and I had the most stressful semester. You're going to be like, I could do this. Because let me tell you, when I started, I took one class because I honestly didn't think I could do it. And I took the class. It was a lot of work. But when I got that A, I was like, I could do this. Now we're going to up the ante and we're going to do 2 classes. And we're going to get done quick so we could move on.
And one thing I want to, oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, when I did go back to school a couple of years ago, I only took 2 classes. And it wasn't that bad because I just have a fear of taking tests. I suck at tests. Even when I was little, I was like, I want to do it. But it was fairly easy. We had a very easygoing professor. She was either not at school or she just was like, whatever, you got the A, but I didn't do the assignment. So what, you got the A, you still here. I was like, okay, is this going to be happening next year too? Let me sign you, let me come back. But it wasn't as bad as I thought because I have fear of everything. When it comes to bettering myself, I just have a fear of doing it. I have to be pushed to do it. So it's just me getting out of that fear and just doing it.
You could do it for yourself. You could do it, girl. You got it. We're here to support you. You could do it.
Like, who wants to do my paperwork today? Who wants to write my?
I ain't saying I was doing all of that.
Definitely not me.
I did it already, but I could be your cheerleader.
All right, cheer. Fine.
We can answer questions and help you out in the subject matters that we, what's the word?
That we're well versed in.
Yes, that we're well versed.
We're not going to do the work for you.
No,
this is your degree.
Right. Exactly. We can help you in those aspects, but
I push paper all day.
Papers,
I can't do it.
For you, I don't mind doing that actually, but I can't do the legwork anymore. This is a little tight.
One thing though, I want to challenge our viewers. Please drop in the comments anyone that has been influential in pushing you to better yourself. And it doesn't have to be school-wise. It could just be in general, learning another language, learning to sew, learning to cook, learning to make your favorite dish. One thing I do want to say is that you ladies have been very influential in my life, believe it or not, because yes, no, for real. So Nelly, you always have been a lover of children, right? And I not so much until later in my life. I never thought I would have children, and I have a child, and I love her to death. I would not trade her for the world. But in truth, you were the one that really said, like, you always said, hey, kids, it's just kids. You gotta get down on their level. And that I always remember, because when I first had her, like, you weren't there, but as soon as you were there and you were like, oh, come Avea, and you were like, you just got to get on her level. And that really taught me, because then it was like, okay, she's right. And the thing is, people say, oh, it's your child. How don't you know sometimes how to deal with them? I've never been a parent. I don't know. Right. I'm learning by trial and error. And JD, you, on the other hand, you always continue pushing, persevering, despite whatever trial you're going through, you push through and you fight. So y'all really, even though we are grown women, I tell you that you guys have really inspired me and advised me throughout all of our years. So thank you.
Oh, love you, mine.
If there's anybody that has inspired you, please comment below.
Yes.
And tag that person if they're
tag.
And if you guys have any businesses you would like for us to promote, please share those businesses with us. We would love to share and talk about them and try them ourselves. We're always looking for a nice, good new business to look into, especially if it's food, because you know we love to eat. So please share those businesses with us, share them with your friends, share this out to everybody. Thank you so much. We want to take a moment and definitely thank everybody who's been sharing our post, liking it, viewing it. That makes our world go round. And we appreciate it to know that you guys are listening and watching and laughing. We hope we're making you laugh all this time, because we really enjoy what we're doing and we really want to expand on our platform and make sure that we can reach everybody that we can. So we thank you so much for being our viewers and watching us and just kicking back and chilling with us. We appreciate you so much. There aren't words to describe how much we thank you guys. So we thank you so much for just being here. We mean that from our hearts, because we love you always and forever.
Ever, like Cardi B said.
Forever. So we thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in and watching our show today. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode of Dem Wise Girls. We hope you have an amazing week. Remember to continue to be who you are. And listen, ain't nothing wrong with a little cry and laugh here and there. But baby, reach to where you're trying to go. Okay?
Right.
You guys have a beautiful week. We love you. And your dreams don't stop. Keep going for them. See you guys.
Started from the bottom, now we here.